Pull tight here. Let me try to adjust a bit. So it's an unstable holder I got for my baby. It's for iPhones, but I'm just using it like whatever. Anyways, the topic today is just my work and drama. Actually, I wanted to talk about universities, but before I did that, I wanted to do a little more research or redirect you to someone who knows more, someone who actually went to university. Because at first, when I came here, I was gonna go to Temple University, so I applied to them, and I had to. You needed 2 letters of recommendation. You need to write an essay, check your credits, and it was highly expensive. But once you get your university degree at Temple University, then that works in Japan and in the U.S. And as far as I know currently, that is the only college that works in both places. So Temple University, but keep in mind it's expensive. And one of the dudes I talked to, he was actually going there because he wanted to become a psychiatrist slash FBI detective. So he was gonna go there, get his psychiatrist degree or whatever. I can't even talk right now. You have to excuse me. I took like sleeping pills, and they're kind of kicking in. And anyways, but yeah, he's gonna go there. Then when he finishes there, he's gonna go back to U.S. and get another degree because he wanted to join the FBI. So and he explained in great detail how he's gonna do that. I was like, great. And by now he might be a part of the FBI, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, if you go to Temple University, which is in Tokyo, okay. So if you like Tokyo, I love Tokyo. Tokyo's fucking awesome. I cuss because I don't get paid shit, so fuck it. But Tokyo's awesome, especially when you want to party. What sucks about Tokyo is it is jam packed. Okay, like in the daytime, because Japanese people they move all at the same time. You know what I mean? Like so when you got Golden Week, which is like all these holidays put together, it's like a week off, which is fucking awesome. They do all at the same time. So when you want to drive somewhere or take a train, the price goes up. I just stay home. Like fuck it, I just work. Then when they're all back working, I'm like, fuck it, now I'm taking my vacation. You gotta do the opposite of whatever they do if you want to achieve anything here. If you do exactly what they do, fuck man, you be stressed always. But yeah, Temple University, over in Tokyo. Again, you can check out on their website. It is expensive, okay. Um, Once you get in, so like I think two letters of recommendation. So your teacher. It's really easy to get a recommendation from your teacher. I got one from my college teacher very quickly, or even like your dean. They're very happy to do it for you. It makes them feel important as well. So just saying that you're an outstanding student or you put a lot of effort, whatever. And then your essay just be like, this is why I want to go to your school because it's awesome, and you just talk uppity, and you can get in, right? So I did like the tour because I was gonna go, and the coolest part about it is like that particular school, since it is actually based, from America. I think it's like Tennessee or somewhere. You can jump right into that school, and as you're going along, you can learn Japanese, right? Where, like, for example, Meiji University, I think it's like the fifth highest ranking school in Japan, and it's like $28,000 a year. That's not including like your interest fee, all those other bullshit fees. But I'm not saying knock a Japanese school because from what I heard, all my Japanese friends, Japanese schools are hella easy compared to American schools. So Japanese schools are hard to get into, but once you're in, it's easy to get through. Where American schools are hard, or they're relatively easy to get into, besides the Ivy League schools, but it's hard all the way through. So you just got to kind of weigh the pros and cons if you're truly serious about coming to Japan or not. You know what I mean? Like I was reading this old Facebook little post I put. It was a long ass post of my goals of coming here, which I never achieved. I'm not crying over it. Sometimes you just gotta let your dreams go and make new dreams. But I like robotics and stuff like that. And in America, all they have is Medtronics, and the best school for that is MIT. And the odds of me getting to MIT are fucking. It's just, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very difficult. Okay, these Ivy League schools have like these clause and conditions that like you just don't know. For example, Princeton University. I wanted to go there for art, But they're like, if you ever go to a junior college ahead of time, you can never come to our school. And it's like in the small print, right? At that moment when I read that, I was already at a junior college, so I was already effed. Uh, and keep in mind, more than likely, I probably wouldn't have got in the first place. But it was a dream for about 10 seconds. Yeah. So if I had to pick, you know, Stanford, Princeton, Harvard, or Yale, I would pick Princeton or Brown. There's another one in Maryland. It's really good with like electronics and all that stuff. But yeah, so Temple University, you go there. You're gonna start your work. I mean, if you have the money, that's great. Also, like this is why I always talk about odd jobs and crap like that because I'm not saying don't teach. You can teach still. There's tons of part-time jobs. You get teaching, making like at least $20 an hour. You just gotta keep in mind when you're actually got your student visa. I think you're only allowed to work 20 hours a week. So it really depends on the school. I think it was like 20 to 28 hours or something like that, but more than like a 20. So you might want to do your own research and check on that because they really want you to pass. You know what I mean? You're gonna be studying Japanese and all the subjects at the same time, and um, they're gonna have their own initial requirements. So like, for example, let's say you went to a junior college like me, right? They're gonna have their own standard of requirements and their own limitation of credits. They're gonna allow you to bring. So let's say you already have 100 credits, they might only allow you to bring 50. That means you got to make up all the credits you already earned in your junior college or whatever. If you didn't even do junior college like you're in high school now, then you're good. And you can just go straight to Temple University, apply, and if you have the money, you're good. If you do not necessarily have the money, but you can get financial aid, plus like all the small jobs I talked about, or you can do part-time English teaching. If you can make and save to Japan, and you can make $20 an hour. It's very possible. I worked part-time jobs making $20 an hour. So like my job now, I'm working like 30 hours a week. And honestly, I'm only making like $10 an hour, which sucks. It's terrible, right? When you go for a job from making like 30 or 25 to just $10 an hour for like the same work, it sucks. So, but I do get free Japanese lessons, so I cannot complain at all. So yeah, I'm saying keep in mind that you are allowed to work with your visa. There's just a limitation. If your school suffers at all in Japan, they will cut your work down. They'll be like, look, you need to like reduce your work to 15 hours. So yeah, they will control it and stuff. So just letting you know on that part. Anyways, sorry. The drama was from my actual work. At work, I got in a huge fight from, as I call him, Yakuza boy. And the reason being in Japan, if you're a part of the Yakuza, you have these crazy Yakuza tattoos. So he has like this, Yakuza tattoos. And all day, like, he's just been writing me. You ever have a boss like this write you, and it's like, can you please just leave me alone just for a minute? Give me a peace of mind. Like, because I work 30 hours a week. He works, I don't know, 10? I don't know, maybe 15 hours a week, right? And so I know what I'm doing. They work me like a slave, which is really funny to say and probably highly racist. But, anyways, no, I'm just saying I know what I'm doing, basically. Because he's not always there. I'm there alone most of the time doing like 99% of the work, and every time he's there, he wants to control everything I do. Like today, I was just like, look, leave me alone. Like I already know what to do. I know more than you, and you probably worked here for like 2 years or more. Okay, so just leave me alone. But he wouldn't leave me alone. Like so, like we got in this huge fight during the first part, the first 2 hours, we were washing dishes, and yes, washing dishes is a shit job. Okay, before I came here the last time around, I was at an insurance company making way fucking more money, and before that, like, and this is like 5 years back, I was a pizza guy making like $14 to $20 an hour. So now I'm washing dishes making 10, so that sucks. But we're in the countryside, so if I can improve my Japanese, I'll still make shit pay. I just gotta get back to this to the big city. So if you ever move to Japan, stay in the big city, man. good and bad points, But at the same time, they kind of have the coronavirus a little more under control here than America. America is like, we're free. We don't have masks. We don't need masks. I'm not anti-Trump. I'm not for Joe. I'm for America getting better, and I'm for everyone being safe and no more lives being lost. That's what I'm for. Okay, guys. I'm not gonna get into politics because people get very upset and they want to fight. I have nothing to fight about. I just want you guys to be safe and happy. Anyways, but yeah, so we got into a fight because like basically he pushed a cart and he was gonna hit me. He's sitting there like telling me that I'm dangerous in Japanese. Like I'm an I. I'm just like, look, can you just stop for a second? Don't push this cart into me. And he just started pushing into me. And I'm like almost 6 foot tall. Easily I can bench about 250 pounds. This dude's like 62. I seriously doubt he can even bench like a donut or two, maybe towards his mouth. About it. But so I just one hand to stop him. I'm just like I just say stop. When this other girl, she's kind of a leader, but she like this guy for like all the girls, because like all there's three guys and like 20 girls, and he talks like super loud. It's his yakuza boy, because he's like half deaf, but the girls are scared of him, right? So they don't say nothing. So if he's like, "You're gonna go there," they'll just do it. He's balancing the force apparently. I have no idea because when he leaves, the girls are like, "No, no, 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 don't talk," and they boss me around, and I'm just like, okay, I guess. But anyways, yeah. So he's trying to ram this fucking card to me. So I stop him, of course. Like, what the fuck he doing? He started telling me I'm dangerous after he tried to ram a card into me. I was just like, so I push the cart. I push it and him back. I'm like, stop. Let me finish. And then he says whatever the hell he says. I ignore him. He's like, why don't you go into your break? I was like, why would I go on my break? I am working. You are standing there doing nothing. He stood there for 10 minutes doing nothing. Even like the girl that was like working with me, she's just like, yeah, why don't you go on your break? You're not doing nothing. You know what I mean? He was just like yelling at me and trying to get in my face, which is very, very not smart. I'm not gonna do anything, obviously, but So I kind of let that roll off. I was like, whatever. So, cause my breaks are right after. I'm like, whatever. Give me some coffee. I'm gonna read my book. So I finish my book. I'm happy, jamming to my music. This motherfucker comes to my break for a half hour. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, get out of here in Japanese. Leave me alone. Stop talking to me. I even tell him like, I don't like chocolate, and he's like throwing chocolate at me. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't complain to manager yet. It wasn't until like at night I'm screaming at him and he's getting in my face that it was about to go down. He was about to get stomped, like curb stomped and shit. This motherfucker. And then you want to like try to like be friends and giggle later. You about to get thrown out the fucking window. You know what I mean? Like in the managers like are a bunch of girls and stuff. They're all smaller than us. Like they don't know what to do. You know. I'm trying to hold my cool, but this little bitch here, and it's not just me, okay? Like every single employee. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but everyone in the whole place hates him. I'm literally his only friend. Not anymore, obviously, but because he's a little bitch. I even told him I was like, "Fuck you." So I was just like, "Shut your." I just cussed him out, okay? Because he came at me like sideways over and over. I was just like, "Look, dude, just we are cool. Like, you know how it is. Have you ever gotten to an argument with someone like that you've known for a bit, but they just don't let you cool off? You know what I mean? Like you argue, and then maybe they walk away, go for a walk, hang out with their friend, get a coffee, relax, come back, think about what happened, think about what they might have done wrong, what I did wrong, how I could have do it, how I could have like did it better or fixed it or prevented it or how I could have held my temper. There was none of that. He wouldn't leave me alone. Half hour of this bullshit to my break. Then every 5 seconds I turn around, he's behind me saying some bullshit. And I was just like in Japanese, like, get out of here, get out of here, get out of my face, go. You just keep on going and shit. Then like when the office finally intervened, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs at him in his face. You know what I mean? Then like he's like straight lying to them about me. I'm just like, stop lying. I have like a little translator, so even though I can't speak Japanese super articulately like him, well technically he can't either. I swear to God, he talks crappy. He talks almost as bad as me. He's Japanese, but I explained the situation, and again, like everyone's scared of him. That's the problem. But for me, I just don't take his shit. Very, I'm not Japanese. Japanese are very reserved, very quiet. They try to be respectful, which is great. It doesn't mean I'm not trying to be respectful. I put up with his shit for 3 months. You know how many times he stabbed me in the back with a cart? 7 times. Okay, and there's a lady named Tanaka-san, right? And she's like 63 grandma, super kind, super nice. She like taught me. She's not the only one, but she's never ever like lost her temper. She's always nice and she's always happy every single day. But every time we take the trash out together, she complains about this guy, Yakuza boy, and how he hit her with a cart. Right? He's just super careless, like and like it's dangerous. I feel like, and I just get tired of him. You know what I mean? Like I just like I don't want to wish badness upon anyone because I feel like that comes back to you. But I kind of wish he would quit actually. But ironically, like when he did leave for 3 days, and the balance of power between guys and girls like really shifted. Like the girls became actually absolutely obnoxious. So I was just like, unfortunately, we need Dark Vader. We need Yakuza Boy because he actually kind of sort of balances the insanity in this place. So it's kind of messed up. Kind of need him. He doesn't know it. I'm not gonna tell him that either, but because he's a jackass sometimes. And that was kind of today's drama. But today, actually, the funniest thing about today though was today was one of the best days I've had so far. Even though I got in a fight, that's just like whatever. I don't care. But overall, everything else was like pretty damn good. You know what I mean? Like, because usually when we wash dishes, it is they suck at it. I'm with him, so okay, we suck at it. But today we didn't suck, so I was like, oh, awesome, we didn't suck. My birthday was like last week, so I brought candy and treats and all that crap. So everyone was happy because they had candy. More happy than usual. They're usually not happy. It's very, very, very sober environment. Like I got in trouble for like humming a Beatles song that everybody knows. You know, I think it was like "Hey Jude" or something. "Hey Jude, do do do," and they're like Thomas Kuhn, shh. Like she's like no singing. I was just like, okay, calm down. I felt like I was in Hogwarts, Harry Potter. You know when he's getting punished like in part 5. I felt like it was like that. So, and yeah, but that was the drama. Almost got into like actual fist fight with one of my guy coworkers. There's only 3 of us. One, I call him Perfect Boy. He's my buddy. He got me a birthday cake, which is pretty awesome. He's also my leader. Then Yakuza Boy, which he's like on the other spectrum of that. He's like I'm gonna just start calling him Darth Vader. Okay, so you have Obi-Wan, you got Darth Vader, and Darth Vader is the one I was gonna fight with today. So that kind of sucked. And that was today, basically. Then it came home, went shopping, and now I'm kind of hyped up on coffee. So yeah, sorry guys if this is a little random for you. Um, I'm gonna be looking a little more into the research about if I can find other YouTubers that actually went to school here. I think her name is Chocolate Geisha. I could be wrong, but I'll look into it. But there is another girl that actually went to school here. But my experience is very simple. I went to different Japanese universities, like talk to them, and you have to speak Japanese first. So they're gonna send you to a Japanese school for like about 2 years, 2.5. They're gonna ask you what you want. I highly recommend 2.5 years because it gives you more time to learn all the kanji. But it's gonna cost you entrance fee, paperwork fee. I swear they make up fees. They're gonna be like Ghostbuster fee. Like what's that? Don't worry about it. But you gotta pay the Ghostbuster fee. But so that right there, what's to say that's between $10,000 and $13,000 per year for the first 2 years if you're gonna go to a Japanese school. And keep in mind, you might be able to work between 20 and 25 hours. I said 28, but more than likely it's gonna be less. At least in my experience, 'cause I went to a Japanese school before. And after you finish that, and if you're gonna be taking the JLTPs as you're going and you're progressing and you do well and you finish that, you can enter into a university. Just keep in mind that the top universities are expensive. They're not cheap at all. Okay, so I actually went back to America and I jumped into University of Washington, which is actually the top university in my state, anyways. And my major was Japanese in hopes I could come back here and they would like sponsor me, but it was just too hard. You know what I mean? I was reading like 3 books a night, 200-page books on top of other stuff. It was crazy. I just couldn't do it. On top of teaching American kids Japanese, and yeah, it was pretty heavy. I didn't make it. And I ended up switching major back to art, which was fine. They didn't care. Art was easier. I can do it. I still had to work about 4 jobs and do 15 hours of art. So, but at least I wasn't reading 200-page books anymore. So that was a slight improvement. So yeah. So from now on, I'm probably going to be doing all my talks hopefully around this time because it seems like I can kind of catch you guys at this time. Whereas in the morning for me, yeah, I catch nobody. I just kind of get a response later on. So yeah. If you guys have any other questions, again, like I will answer as much as I can if I can, and if I cannot, I do know other, Japanese YouTubers or whatever that live here, so I can always redirect you to them. For example, Unrested or Give Me a Break Man or whoever, there's a lot more here actually. You just gotta look deeper inside. There's tons of people that like are completely fluent. Some people already did like, okay, they did the whole home state thing. They did the graduate college, and they're married now, and they're translators, and so they know all that. I just can't remember their names right at this moment. So the next time around, I will do the research, and I'll probably just link it for you guys, and you can go check them out or whatever, and ask them questions about their experiences with Japanese schools in Japan. Because I actually went to a Japanese school and it was fine. I enjoyed, when I went. I went 3 different times. I went over in Tokyo, and what the fuck is it called? The school's called the Kai School. There's a school called the Kai School in Tokyo. I think it's over in Shibuya. I love that school. I enjoyed that school very much. Next school I highly recommend. This is like a Japanese language teaching school. Is the Arc Academy. Arc Academy was great. The prices are relatively similar. Kai School was a little more expensive, but in my opinion, their teachers were better. Their program was better. Everything was better. So of course it's going to be a little more expensive, and plus you're in Tokyo. So after you're done learning, you can go to Roppongi or wherever you want. You can go shopping, for electronics in Tokyo. The trains get super tight. Okay, I swear to God. If you're like pregnant and you get in that train, and you pop out that train, you're gonna have the baby with you already. Just I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know why they can't just be like, wait, to stay here. The train is full, but they don't do that. They just keep trying to push people in, throw people on top. You know what I mean? For me, I'll ride on the roof. I don't care. I'll be like, look, can I just ride on the roof? I don't want to be crushed. So I've experienced it only twice being crushed. It wasn't like crushed so much to the point I couldn't breathe, but it really, really was uncomfortable. It was like the most uncomfortable train experience I've ever had, and I really tried to avoid it. In Tokyo had it, and I had it once in Osaka. It sucked. So if you can avoid like 6 o'clock or basically all the times where people go to work and come home. If you can avoid those times, you're good. That's why I talk about these like part-time jobs you can get, because these part-time jobs typically are at odd, weird times. And as an English teacher, you can get after-school jobs, right? After-school jobs for say a Kiowa, you might be get paid by $20 an hour. You can work your $20 an hour, which will help you pay your tuition if you decide to come this way, or maybe you just want to come for vacation. I don't know, but then you have to change your major, not major, but your visa, obviously. Um, I do think it is possible. I'm not exactly sure how, but you can come here on your normal travel visa later on when they open the borders up, which I think it gives you 3 months, and you can change it to a working visa. So meaning like, so I would recommend actually applying for a job. You go Gaijin Pot, or you go to Indeed, or you can use whatever LinkedIn. Glassdoor is kind of hard. I was trying that recently. So you can apply for a job. I tried Gaijin Pot at first. Apply ahead of time. Go to Interact. Okay, go to Interact. Check out Eon. It's what is it? AEON. Check them out. They just started a new company and they pay more than Interact. Interact fucks you. I'm not saying they're bad. Interact is actually they're decent compared to other ALT companies. But Eon, you'll be doing a Kiowa and you'll be getting paid $3,000 a month. They're brand new and they're going to be stomping out all the rest of the competition very quickly. So AEON, Eon. So see if you can find that website. If not, just go to Gaijin Pot. So Gaijin Gaijin Gaijin. Shit, I'll just try to link it for you guys. Or you can just even say it in your phone. It'll find it, no problem. Go to Gaijin Pod, and if you're overseas, just type in overseas, because they're looking for you guys. They think you don't know what I'm telling you, right? Like the Japanese law. If you work over over 6 hours, you get a break. You get a 30-minute break legally. You know what I mean? They don't know you know that, so they will try to work you to death. It's not because they think you're stupid. They just think you're ignorant and don't know. So yeah, I highly recommend like looking into at least the labor laws. I was lucky enough to, when I was back over in Kobe, to go to a Japanese school for about 3 months, and one of the classes for about 2 3 days was Japanese labor laws. That's how I know. So there's two major points. First of all, your age. That Japan can sit there and pretend like that's not a point, but that actually is a point. Next point is how much you know, right? Because sometimes they don't even care if you can teach or not. You know, they're like, oh, you're 18, cool. How much did you know? You're like, I don't know anything. You're like, perfect, perfect. But don't be surprised when they start taking like extra money. Just just make sure you guys have money when you come here, okay? Don't let them F you completely. You know what I mean? So they're gonna be like shoving you a Leo Palace. Then on the contract, they're like, after you leave, you gotta pay $300, which doesn't make any sense because the company rented the Leo Palace, right? And as soon as they signed the contract, they paid the one-time $300 fee, right? So if you're moving into that Leo Palace that probably four or five other people moved into, then why do you need to pay the fee? Those four or five other people pay that same exact fucking fee, right? I called Leo Palace. I was like, do I have to pay the fee? Am I liable? They're like, nah, not at all. I was like, all right, cool. And I called the company. I was like, fuck you guys, I'm not paying your fee. You better give me my money. I'm suing you. They gave me my money for real. So I'm not saying that was a good move, okay? Because that company is never gonna hire me back. I don't care because they suck. So they were a terrible company. They didn't even train. Like the girl that's supposed to train me, she's just like, you know what? Just I swear to God, she was fucking high. Yes, I'm in Japan. Fucking 10 years. James Curtis. But anyways, yeah, I swear to God, she was like drunk or high every day. I was like, so you gonna train me? She's like, man, you know what? Easy. Just kick back and this is a Japanese girl too. Just chill. La 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 la. I was just like, all right, okay. Let me call the company and see if I get some training. And we had to do training over Skype, and the training sucked. It wasn't perfect. I'm not gonna give the guy shit because it's over Skype. It's kind of hard to do, right? And near Tokyo, I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere, Wakayama. It's like the east side. Like you keep going past Tokyo to Yokohama and just keep on going. And like when you get there, it's just mountains and rice, and that's all. There's there's no animals. Sometimes you see people, sometimes, but yeah. And then like let me tell you guys like the level of like English schools. Um, ALT pays the lowest, okay, but at the same time, it is the easiest job there is. It's the lowest, but the easiest. Next would be Eikaiwa. You actually got to put a little more work into it. If so, like if you're not naturally like, hey guys, how's it going like that, you have to either drink a lot of coffee or you just got to up your game and just actually be like that. You know what I mean? Like if you're like an actress type of person, you should have no problem doing it. So Eikaiwas pay way more money, and yeah, so they're like more in the middle. And next is international schools. If you can become like a head teacher at an international school, that's where you start moving up from like 3,000 to 3,500, maybe even 4,000. Like if you're really good, if right now, like say you're in college, okay, I highly recommend taking that extra year and getting that teaching certificate and actually learning to teach. Be better than your competition. There's half these people around here, they don't know how to teach. I mean, like, I'm just being real with you guys, okay? Like, I'm gonna take you guys out one day and just show you what I'm talking about. I'll just show you a barber shop. There's a barber shop, and it has like this white dude, blonde hair, blue eyes. And for me, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, okay, everyone in Japan doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, so why would you advertise in such a way? So, basically, you got Japan relates to like the or sees the white people on top. I mean, it goes like this: Japanese number one, then white people, and then I have no idea who's underneath that, but that's all. Japanese, white people, then blah 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 blah. Blah. So I don't even know where I fit in half time because half the time they don't even know what I am. Especially when they're drunk, they'll ask me. They're like, "You're from Indonesia?" I'm like, "Yeah, from Indonesia." "You're from Jamaica?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm from Jamaica." Like I just whatever. They don't know where I'm from like at all. Japan's still at the top of the hierarchy. Okay, um, economically, who knows how long that's going to be because China is catching up. China's money is going up, and they're being very smart, and they're investing, and they're keeping all their magic materials such as copper, whatever, and then they're investing in cryptocurrencies. Where Japan is, I don't know what the fuck Japan's doing, but they're gonna be number three soon if they don't hurry up and kick ass. I guess So, but the number one economy is like U.S. still, surprisingly, then Japan, then China, blah 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 blah. And ranking wise, like for example, if you guys came here and you went to Temple University, I'm not saying go there in particular. It's just easier because it's like getting a dual degree. The degree works in the U.S. and Japan. Where you went to Meiji University, it's a very famous university here. I think it's like $30,000 a year or some crazy number for foreigners. But if you went to that particular university, I don't think it works in the U.S. at all. So, or at the same time, you can always like graduate in America and then come here and graduate here. I just think you should just get your degree there, come here, do your Japanese school, or if you're really, really disciplined, just study by yourself, get a job, whatever, call it a day. And that's kind of about it when it comes to school stuff. Yeah, so for the next video, more than likely, I'm gonna be talking about a different subject, but I might link other people that actually went to school here, and you can ask them their exact experience, or jump on YouTube and just type in going to college in Japan or going to high school in Japan or whatever. Because that's what I did, and they talk about their little experiences, which for me is, I was like, okay. And when I was over in junior college in America, a lot of my Japanese friends, they would explain to me like how the system work and how they just played all day basically. I'm like, they're like, here I have to actually work, but in Japan, like, I don't have to work this much. I only go to school 3 days a week. The rest of the time I'm on karaoke working hard and killing myself. I can be in Japan and getting drunk. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it is. Honestly, I have no idea, man. Coming here, what my personality characteristics is jump, didn't look. I'm not saying that's not the. I'm not saying that's the best characteristics at all. In fact, maybe it's shitty characteristics. I have no idea, but it actually has worked well for me so far. I don't want to keep doing it like that. I do want to plan ahead. So when people are like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I'm just like, I don't know where I'll be in 5 minutes. Hopefully sleeping, but or maybe I'll still be talking on this for another 7 hours. I don't know. I I just been up because I drink too much coffee. That's one point. Other point is simply I've been like paying attention to the elections. Like it's so funny because you can see so the bias. You know what I mean? Fox News is like Trump is awesome. He's the king. Oh. Then you go to like CNN. It's the complete opposite. That Trump is the devil, and Joe is the king. Oh. I'm just like really. You know what I mean? I just want to like find like a neutral station that's like neutral that actually just kind of really weighs the pros and cons about such the concepts. Whatever, it's fine. I already got kind of effed out of that like because my aunt texted me like I think 2 weeks ago and I didn't take it too seriously and I didn't research it, but it takes 3 weeks from where I'm at to vote. So if I wanted to vote today, I would have to like fly to the U.S. Other than that, like my ballot would take 3 weeks to get there. So therefore, I actually can't vote. So I kind of effed up there. So I'm sorry, guys. that's, that's what half the people say. I really don't know what people are thinking. I have people I've known for like 10 years. They're 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 highly considering Trump. They're like, and every time I mention anything bad about Trump, they're like, "Who's your source?" No, 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 no. I was just like, "Do you really want my source? Does it really matter? I can give you 7 articles right now. I can probably get his tax return. You know what I mean? Do you really want my source? If you're just gonna vote for him, just vote for him. I don't need to convince you otherwise. You know what I mean? I think people should just do what they want. I don't want to waste my time." That's true. He is rebalancing the playing field. I don't even know anymore. Like honestly, under Trump, he is kind of changing the rules of many agreements. For example, there's agreement between the UK and America, which he didn't uphold. He wants to step away from the. Good lord, he did a lot, man. So like 4 more years of that, he might be like Emperor Trump. He might be a Sith Lord. And I'm gonna join him because I just want to be a Jedi. I don't even care anymore. You know what I mean? Like I will be a Jedi. I'll be killed by the hero, but I'll be a Jedi. Or maybe they'll just have like all those little dumb robots. You know what I mean? The ones that are like, but there's like 500 robots and one Jedi, and it's like it won't matter. So like it'll be like that. I don't know. But at the same time, I didn't do my research on Joe. Keep in mind I didn't vote, guys, and I'm not Democrat or Republican. But keep in mind, I don't know shit about Joe either. So I know about Trump because I read his books. I know exactly who he is. I read like a million articles about him, his little magical history, how many times he's been divorced, how many times he's actually went bankrupt, his rich daddy. Joe, I have no idea. All I know is what Trump attacked him with. That's all I know. So Joe's kind of a mystery for me. So I should probably research that because honestly, everyone says Joe is like they're both bad, but Joe's the least worst, which could be true. I have no idea though. All I can do is either believe you or do my own research and call it a day. But the elections will be done soon, and I'm kind of interested to see what happens. Like for example, Trump wins. Is he gonna? How is he gonna continue to deal with first of all the coronavirus? That's one point. The next thing is, I think people are still gonna continue to protest. Is he just gonna like send the military to every single state, especially the Democrat states, because he's really like not liking them. I don't know. It's almost like he's trying to destroy them. Is he gonna send the military to every state, every single moment, every time, and tear gas is the lie? They have a platform to lie on. They'd be like abortion. Oh, I'm against abortion. Then they become president, and then they do what the hell they want. And that whatever they said about abortion is changed automatically to something you don't like because politicians lie, right? So, but Trump, like, I don't know if you guys watch. I think it was like NBC. Sorry, we probably shouldn't get into politics. I don't want to piss anyone off, but I'm not gonna sit here and say Trump is bad, but Trump is on TV a lot. That's all I'm saying. Even in Japan, like I'll be in my break room, and sometimes we have a TV in the break room. Then Trump will pop up. Like every other day, he's on Japanese TV. Like seriously, he's that famous. Like even if he like didn't win, like after he walked away, he's still pretty much worldwide famous forever. Like he can never ever walk anywhere without people recognizing him. He's just that famous from this whole ordeal, which to me, in a sense, that's kind of awesome, right? Maybe he can do endorsements, whatever. So yeah, but I'm not gonna ask you guys who you voted for and all that stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of the limitation of what I experienced in colleges here. I've heard good stories and horror stories. I've met people who came here, went to Japanese school, finished that, then finished the whole college thing, and they lived here and they're married and they've been here for like 15 years and they both have wonderful jobs and wonderful kids and their life's fine. So like if you want to come here, you want to make it, it is possible. It's not just a dream. You can do it. There's plenty of foreigners that are doing it, have doing it, and there's going to be a labor shortage in the next 10 years because Japanese are simply just not having as many babies as before. So they're going to be pulling more foreigners here. We're talking long term. So there is an opportunity to live here forever if that's what you want. Like for me, I have no idea what I'm doing. I kind of want to go back to America, but it really depends on how these politics play out. But there is an opportunity to live here forever. So your goal, your simple goal is to get your foot in the door. That's always the simple goal. Then I talked about this before, but you might not mind so much the new website YOLO. It it does help you get those little jobs on the side here. It's not big money, but if you came here and say you're doing Japanese school, you just want to make a little money on the side, and you don't want to teach English, YOLO.com or something like that, and they can get you like little jobs, working at hotels, working at like restaurants as a dishwasher. If you're Japanese good, maybe a bartender, you make a little more money. So YOLO's kind of new. The Eon thing, that's new, so you can make pretty good money there. And yeah. Oh yeah, the last school, international schools, you make, which I said before, you make a crap load of money. If you have your CELT, your CELT, CELT, it's like some little certificate. That's you'll kick competitions, but your so degree, a teaching little degree, which takes 1 year. Your CELT. Actually, if you have your teaching degree, you might not need the CELT, but if you have it, you will just destroy everyone. And your driver's license. You need to be able to drive, depending on what your aim is. I would aim for international schools because then from there you can just straight up start up in Tokyo. You don't want to be stuck in the countryside. The countryside sucks. It's boring. This is what. This is kind of partly why I'm talking to you like this, and not taking you outside every day because there's nothing to see outside that much. I mean, there is a beautiful sunrise and sun up and all that stuff, and a beautiful river, but that's kind of the extent of where I'm at now. So it kind of sucks, at least for me. I don't know. So if you guys want me to take you outside, just let me know, and I'll take you outside, and I will show you outside. But I'm just saying there's a limitation to the countryside. It's not like Osaka where I can just jump on a train, go 3 trains, and we're at the beach. You know what I mean? Osaka is way better like that. Or Tokyo, where I can just take 4 trains, and now we're in the electronic area, so you can get yourself a old school Nintendo. Here, no, not really. So it's a little rough, but if you want to make a life in Japan, and yeah, you can do it. That's all. I just want to let you know. It's very possible that you can make a life in Japan here. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's easy, but once you get to where you want to go, you're good. And I think the rules of moving to any country are relatively the same. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go. I talked way longer than I thought I would, and I don't wanna waste your time and stuff. But yeah, today's drama was that work stuff. Me and that guy, we were like fine, I guess now. I don't know. We don't talk right now, so we're probably gonna be like not talk for like a day or two. Then we'll start talking, because this is honestly like the 5th fight we had, but this is like the worst fight. I like to avoid talking with him, but it's kind of hard because it's part of the job, right? And for me, it's very important for me to do the job, so it will pan out. So I felt this whole ordeal was simply embarrassing, in my opinion, as an American and as the new guy. But at the same time, like, this particular person is very, very hard to deal with. Not just for me, but for everybody. So yeah. Anyways, I'm not complaining about it. I didn't even complain to the leader. The only reason they even found out because we were having a screaming match in the middle of work. So yeah. All right. Peace out, guys. If there's any questions or if there's anything you want to see, like I said, if you guys want to go outside in the sunlight, because right now it's dark, right? So like I'm always like morning talk, but it's actually night. It's morning for you, night for me. But I can take you outside. Peace.